Good morning. So today we're going to be doing something really special. I've tried it once and it did really well. We're going to be making beef jerky. So here's a piece of meat that I bought. And what I prefer is eye round. And the reason being is because when you do beef jerky, you don't need a lot of marbleization in here. That fat doesn't really dehydrate down. It actually needs to be more meat than fat. And I'm gonna wind up trimming some of this off so we can get it as lean as we want. And get ready to slice it up and then marinate it and then put it in the dehydrator. All right, so we've got all the fat off of this. We got a little bit of membrane, but it's not that much. So this is a slicer that was given to us by our in-laws. Thanks, Ruby and Glenn. And it works great. If you don't have a slicer like this, you can just use a really sharp knife. What I do recommend is ceramic knives. These things are like wicked. They're very, very sharp. So, but you can take a knife, slice it really thin yourself, or when you purchase it at your local store, when you buy one of these, ask them to slice it thin for you, so that way you'll have it already done, okay? So basically what this one does is we just set it in here, and this actually pushes against it. I'll show you how this works. So I am going to turn it on. It is loud, it's an older slicer. So I'm really not going to talk through this, but I'm going to go ahead and slice it up and get ready to marinate it. All right, so we've got all the meat sliced up. We've got it about 1/8 of an inch thin. We sliced it pretty thin, 1/8 of an inch. Some of them are maybe a little bit thicker, but 1/8 of an inch would be good. So when we did this before, we tried 2 different recipes, okay? One of them, my oldest son gave me a recipe for it, and then one that I just used from a store-bought. So the store-bought was the honey teriyaki. And it tastes good. It just didn't taste as good as the other recipe. So we're not going to use this today. We're going to put both of these in. And basically what we use is liquid smoke. And we put it in the Ziploc bags. And then we use, and we're not endorsing any type of seasoned salt or anything. We just happen to buy Lowry's, but use seasoned salt. Now what I will say is this. Be careful with the Lowry salt. I don't have a measuring cup that I put them in there. But the more you put in there, the saltier it becomes when it comes out. Now, I put quite a bit in last time, but it was still, we could eat it, but you could taste the salt. So be careful with the salt. Do it to your flavor and your taste, and but it works. It comes out phenomenal with the smoke flavor and the seasoned salt. I'm gonna get it mixed up, marinated, and get ready to dehydrate. All right, so I'm putting the liquid smoke in here. And I'm going to put it in both bags because we've got quite a bit to marinate. Now I have 2 of these bottles of the liquid smoke because this one I used so much last time, it was a small amount. So now I'm going to put the Lowry's in there. And I shake it, see how fast it comes out? I don't put a tremendous amount, but I put enough in there just to give me the flavor. So I'm going to put about that much in there where it floats. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and start putting some of the meat in there. So I've got them both loaded in the bags. And I just had a conversation with Mrs. Homestead with the salt. She liked it salty. I thought it was a little bit too salty, but do it to how you feel your flavor is. If you want them saltier, put them in there. I think the smoked flavor for our entire family was the best part about it because it really has a good smoky flavor like it's been on the grill. So what I do is these Ziploc bags, I leave a little air in them so then it's easy to kind of toss them around and move them around. Now, some people say, well, if you put them in a vacuum thing and pull all the air out, well, sometimes meat like this will stick together and it's hard to get that marinade into those creases. So if you just keep moving it, and if you need a little bit more smoke, which I think I will, that's what you have to do. You just put it in there, get it saturated pretty good. It's not a precise science. You just want it moist with that flavor. And you'll see how it's getting that darker color. That's what you want to see, is that darker color from the smoke. Now we're gonna go ahead and start this one up and see how this one does. Probably what I should do, since I do this a lot, I should come up with a recipe of how much salt or how much smoke. So I'll try to figure that out so I can get that to you. This is the way I cook though sometimes. It's a little here, a little there. I don't get any complaints. Now I will say this one, this recipe here, I do use the two combinations of salt and the smoke. The teriyaki, you don't have to do that. Pour it in the bag, mix it up. I actually like this, but I like both of them. I think the family likes the smoke better. So given that these are pretty much turned up with the brown look to it, so what I do is I peel them down, push the air out of them. And then we're going to put them in the refrigerator. That's how I get the air out. Okay, so we're going to put these in the refrigerator. They're going to go in there and have fun for about 4 to 6 hours to really get that flavor going. Chefs will say, marry up together, and they'll get all feeling good. And then what we'll do is we'll throw them on dehydrator and get them cooking. I come in here and kind of move them around a little bit to make sure that the flavor's getting through through all of the meat pieces. So 4 to 6 hours in the refrigerator. All right, so we've had 4 hours in the refrigerator with our beef jerky marinating. I've got 2 packs here. We're pulling out our dehydrator. So this is multiple layers dehydrator. I'm gonna just set this right over here. And what you wanna do is, and I put gloves on, I just don't like to have a whole bunch of mess in my hands, and it does get messy when you start pulling them out. But when you pull these pieces out, what you wanna do is you wanna make sure that you keep them from touching each other so that the air circulates, and make sure that it dehydrates the whole piece. And you also want to make sure you try to get the folds out of them. I had a couple on the last time I did it that the folds were still in there, and they're okay. I mean, they'll dehydrate, but the problem is it makes them really tough. And some of these smaller places here, I take some of the little chunky pieces and put them in there. Basically, all you're gonna do is just run through here and layer this. Let me see here. All right. Let's do this. Kind of like a jigsaw puzzle. Smells so good. Like I said, our family loves the smoked with this seasoned salt. It was gone in no time. So I'm sure they will flat enjoy this. I may just have to put a tray on there and then come back and do it again. But I can't tell you how really good the flavor is on this liquid smoke and seasoned salt. It's just amazing. Have another one here. Trying to take some of these smaller ones and put them in so they can fill in some of the gaps, get everything in there. Okay, so we've got, I think, 4 different layers here. We've finished one whole bag, and we've got most of this bag done, but it's all complete. We've got them in here. They look really good. They smell amazing. They're amazing. Plug it in and let you know when it gets done. All right, so we turned off the dehydrator. We've been dehydrating about 5 hours. And it smells delicious, as you can tell. Somebody is in the kitchen, been in the kitchen the whole time, because he smells it. He's about to lose his mind. But it really looks good. I may have to turn it back on for some of the bigger pieces, but you can take a look and see here. I'm gonna take some of the smaller ones. And you see there? And it's see how it's got that pull to it? That's what you want right there. That's exactly what you want right there. So I'm gonna take some of these smaller pieces and I'm gonna put them in a bag, and I'm gonna leave some of the larger ones and let them cook some more. I'll let them dehydrate some more. And then we'll get this finished. So I hope you've enjoyed learning this easy way to make beef jerky. It's been fun. Send us any messages or questions that you have, and always remember, do your best and watch God do the rest.